Welcome to Power Monday, where your Mondays will never be blue again. Hello everybody, good morning and welcome back to another episode of Power Monday, where your Mondays will never be blue again. As always, my name is Taufik, and if you're new here, Power Monday is ERA's original podcast where we bring in the best of the best in the industry to share their real life journeys, the strategies that kept them going, and the best practices for success. So if you guys are looking for your weekly dose of empowerment, we're here for you every Monday, 10 a.m. and we'll also be on ERA Singapore Spotify and One ERA YouTube channel. Now for today's motivational speaker, we have someone who has been in the real estate industry for 17 years, and he also shares a passion for cooking, and he used to host as well. And today we're going to talk about success isn't just about grinding away at work, and it's about finding the balance in your passion and how you incorporate your passion into your work to create a healthy lifestyle, I would say. So without further ado, please welcome to the Power Monday studio, the amazing Christopher.
Hi, good morning everyone, ERA especially. I'm so glad to be invited onto this platform to share perhaps more about myself, my life, and I think let's keep it very natural. So I've not really looked at the questions.
They run out, yeah.
But let's just keep it very fluent and let it run.
Yeah, also can I say that Christopher has an amazing radio voice, which I understand why he's hosting, and I'm kind of intimidated right now. But I think I'm gonna try my best. So Christopher, maybe you can start with your passion for cooking. Like when did it start?
No, so basically cooking for me, I think I've always liked to. I think before we get to the cooking portion,
okay, sure.
It is more of I like to eat. Right? So I have a very, if you put it positively, it's a discerning palate, but some people call it critical. So I'm very fussy when it comes to food. And so sometimes for me, cooking is like, okay, I've eaten something nice. I want to recreate that taste for my loved ones. I think that pretty much was the motivation for cooking. But what really started the cooking was, interestingly, it was from my dad and of course my grandparents as well. So I was just telling you earlier that the men in my family cook.
Yeah.
So and my wife is Jasmine, and when we got together, it was quite interesting when I found out that actually in her family, it's also the men who are cooking. So her mom doesn't really cook, she doesn't cook, but her dad does. So, and her grandfather, which is, also cooks. So it's quite interesting. And for myself, my cooking journey probably started way when I was a kid, and my dad would go Sunday marketing, and I'm probably only one of the three kids who will wake up diligently at 7 o'clock and go with him to the wet market. And that really formed some of the passions I have today, including when I go to a new place, let's say I go Australia, New Zealand, or even, any new place.
You go to the market.
I go to the supermarket and the wet markets first. Yeah, so you're not weird. That's why you were saying, are you weird?
Earlier we had a conversation. I was like, is it weird to actually love going to the market? Because, say my grandmother, my mother will always ask me to go to the market instead of my other cousins and stuff. But yeah, interesting. So how about hosting? Is that also something that birthed as a passion, or was it something that you didn't know you'd like to do?
I think it came out of really necessity, because how I went into hosting was also, I think most of you who know me would find it funny if I say that I'm actually an introvert. I generally like to be alone. If I can, I probably wouldn't want to be in a place with a lot of people. But of course, over the years, it has changed. And I think one of the biggest, incident that changed that was, I like to sing, by the way. So I really like to sing. And my song repertoire is actually all the oldies, Chinese oldies that I grew up listening in my father's car, like the 70s and 80s, that kind of songs. So what really started the whole stage thing was, I think it was at 10 or 11, and I was pregnant. At that time, there was this Chinese program called An Pei Na Bei, and there was this little boy, 7 years old, Zheng Zhijian, who sang this 15的月亮. And that song was like, all the kids will learn, and I learned it. And it was at one grassroots event. My mom was involved in grassroots. Those as well, another very interesting part of my growing up is that we grew up in, a community setup whereby we helped. My mom was the RC chairman, so we did a lot of events.
Yeah.
and funds was always an issue. So end up we did everything as a family together, and that's also where the hosting comes in, because there was one day whereby there was a stage, and it was like, hey, all the kids would go out and perform, and I ended up going up to sing that song, the 15的月亮 song, and it was in front of a whole constituency per se. And that gave me that confidence to go on stage. And that was also, I think, subsequently, more opportunities came. Children's party that we wanted to save on hosting, right? Then my mom would say, you can try. Lah. So at that time, because it was a kid, there was nothing to fail. Even there's no one to fail. Even if you do fail, no one's going to blame you per se. So we just went ahead. Lah. And that really formed the basis. So from hosting mid-autumn festivals, Christmas parties, finding games. It was a whole works. We even have, as a family, decorate the entire multi-purpose hall, and then packing goodie bags. And what is really interesting is that skill sets that we learned there, or rather we developed as a family doing all this, subsequently became very important in my team building. Because now if you look at what we are doing as a team leader to our team, right? Eventually, even ERA is an events company. Correct? We are constantly doing events to keep our guys engaged. Trainings are events.
Correct.
Parties at my house are events. Now the upcoming Deepavali night that we are doing for our Indian agents is also an event. And a lot of the, from budget to finding resources to how do you make it, most efficient way, low cost way to do things to make it look good. They're all from there. So that's why I always tell my associates and also my whoever that I talk to, that whatever happened to you in life, it happens for a reason, and it will come back and help you in your future work.
Correct. Yeah. So obviously when you talk about that, so hosting obviously have helped you in your real estate industry in terms of confidence, talking to a lot of people. So how about cooking? How do you incorporate that passion into your career?
Well, real estate is interesting. As I mentioned, the team building, the dynamics is very important. It's very very widespread.
Yeah.
And cooking actually allows me to have a topic to identify with my associates. So I think every leader is known for certain things.
Yeah.
And there's no one size fit all for leadership. So I think the people that we attract to our team are family, people who appreciate, who are really the family guys, the relations, and part of it definitely when it comes to family is the gathering over food. So my ability to cook and passion for cooking, I've done numerous Christmas parties at my house, and that was also one of the reasons why when we were thinking about changing our place, we opted for a slightly bigger one, whereby we can have our team come over and share our passion over whatever we have over food. And even our current house, we have a name for it. It's called a farmhouse. So one of the big, and if you have a chance to come over, we would invite you and the team here, is that we actually, the centerpiece of our house is actually a really it's a 4-meter long wooden table. We had it specially imported. Right, and just the logistics cost alone is amazing. But that table is now the centerpiece, and whether it's my own family sharing over meals or having the team over, where I again remember I said I like to display all my food, so we display all the food that we prepare, home cooked food, and then the guys will come over and share lah. And even for the food, so another part about cooking was I remember wrapping dumplings with my grandparents. And we actually recreated that last year for the team. So during this year, the dumpling festival, we actually got the whole team to come over, and then we did it over charcoal fire. 200 over dumplings.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So it was done right at the farmhouse, and then all the ingredients from the rice to the meat to the chestnuts and salted egg.
The farmhouse is your house? My house.
We literally call it a farmhouse. Yes. That's why, okay, I've been addressing to my house as farmhouse for the longest time. So back to the topic of cooking and career. So cooking is a way for me to let go, to, neutralize some of the negativity of the career, of the industry and the job, to help to de-stress per se.
Yeah.
And I think it really helps. Of course, on a personal level and also on a team level.
Yeah. So initially, when we were having a conversation earlier, you did talk about how you use cooking as a means of escaping your I guess the reality of stress working. So maybe you want to share a bit about how it has benefited you.
Yeah. So on that topic, one of the back then when me and Jasmine were still dating and we were staying together, right? If she sees me suddenly coming home with bags of grocery and walking straight to the kitchen, she'll know that I probably had a difficult case or I met something that's unhappy and I needed me time off. And that's when she'll back off and allow me to my own time in the kitchen, and I will do what I need to do, display or set up the food and then get her to eat. And she'll only ask me what happened when I ask her to eat. And that's our little way of knowing what each other is doing, and that period of time when I'm upset or I meet a problem, cooking allows me to that me time to think through, did I do wrong? Where the things go wrong, and what are the solutions that I can do? And typically when I'm ready and I'm calm down, that's when I will talk it out with Jasmine, and then we will meet it together.
Understand. Because some people I would say my mother lah. Sorry to call her out, but my mother doesn't understand my passion. So I have a passion in performing theatre. Although we are quite similar in ways that we are also introvert, but when given the opportunity, we would rise and shine, right? But so my mom doesn't understand my passion or why do I have the passion. But I think it's important that everybody also knows that having their own passion is important to them. So from your point of view, why do you think having a passion is important for balance?
Because it helps you to take away, your unhappiness or your attention from what is bothering you. And sometimes by taking that step back and, doing your passion, like in my sense, cooking, it forces me to really calm down and remove the emotions from handling the matter. Sometimes actually the answer is there, but it is really the emotions that prevent you from doing what is the right thing. And I've realized that as I cook, and now lately there's a new passion, not really a new passion, but now that I have space, I'm going into gardening.
Wow.
But the gardening also very specific. It's only edibles. So
you can.
Yeah, so my whole kitchen is my whole garden is an edible garden. So I have 7 different kinds of lemons.
Wow.
7 different kinds of lemons, okras,
Really
passion fruit, chilies, chilies, another 4 different kinds of chilies. And farmhouse, right, lately we are also into the whole rescuing of HDB chickens. So now I have 4 chickens that we rescued from HDB owners that, they started as a little project to incubate eggs, right? Then when they hatch the chickens and then they start crawling, that's when they put on Facebook and say that, hey, I have this chicken I need to give away. So these are the latest passions. So yes, but they're all still quite related to cooking lah. Not that I will cook my pet kitchens lah.
So would you say in the busy life of a real estate agent, right? Let's say if you come across a time where you're really so busy, would you then make it a point to yourself, I need to make time to do something else? Or would you just let it run?
For me, I always believe in time is what you make out of it. There's no, whoever tell you that we are too busy, is an excuse lah. It's but really the point is, do you want or not to lah, right? So for example, my day starts at 5 every day.
Same.
Right? So send the kids to school and then I come back. That's my me time. Actually, my me time is between 7 to about 8:30.
Oh.
So either I do the cleaning up after, now is cleaning up the chickens, doing my gardening or marketing. And then at 8:30, it will be the second batch of kids. I have 3. So the first one goes to primary school, the other 2 will go to childcare, right? So that's the 8:30 portion. And this regimentation per se has helped a lot because now my day starts earlier. So I can get a lot more things done. And I think the beautiful part about being a real estate agent, and of course having a partner who is also a real estate agent, and in many ways we are interchangeable, we can go for each other's appointment, that really helps a lot in the time planning, right? And I'm really thankful that I have a very understanding wife, that allows me time to pursue my passion. If I tell her I'm cooking, then she'll come back and eat, or she'll make time to come back and eat. No matter how busy she is really probably a lot more easy for her to just grab a burger and then in between appointments. But if I say that night I'm cooking, she will come back and eat. And even if she doesn't come back during the dinner time, after appointment, a meal will be waiting for her. I'll be there as well. So that's how I think making time and balancing your passion, all works out in your career.
So what do you think about your opinions on whether having time for your passion can also influence your success in your career?
Again, for me, I think for real estate, you need to know your motivations. Why are you working what you are working for, right? So I think for myself, I can't say for most people or what, but the motivation I have now is really for the family and to give them a better life. And I think a lot of it is also, again, I'll keep mentioning Jasmine because I think Jasmine really has a very big positive impact on my life in that she gives me that direction. Yeah. So I think she's known as a mentor to many, but I think she's also a mentor to me in life as well. And I am generally, I know I can work, I know I'm talented, but I just don't have that driver kind of attitude. And she provides that in my life. And since meeting her, I think career-wise, everything, motivation-wise is good. And having that motivation to know what you want to work for is the one that drives you forward. And one more tip that I can give everyone is ERA, I think, I've just joined not too long ago, about a year and a half. I've been, although most people will say that, don't say like you're already here about 2 years already, consider seasoned engineering. But what I really appreciate is, I think, as a company, and they have institutionalized and structure, direction and, into what we are doing.
Yeah.
For example, the monthly awards. When I first came, I was overwhelmed. Wow, so many awards. But I've come to realize that those awards can help as a very strong motivation. So, for example, company's direction is for the millionaire. Everyone fights towards the millionaire, right? So it doesn't matter when you make your million. Once you make it, it becomes easy to make. So everyone, and that culture is so strong, it's throughout the whole company. And of course, then you break it up to your monthly diamonds. And then it suddenly struck me one day that it's all linked. Why? Because to hit your million, you need to have 83,000 a month. If you every month aim for your 100,000, which is a diamond, the millionaire will come at the end of the year. And even if some of the months you missed it, right?
Yeah.
And that helps me when I realize it, and I'm that's why, which is for myself, I'm chasing the diamond every month. Yeah, and that's how we use that motivation to boost myself in my career, and that has helped really a lot. So I'm quite glad that I think in the last 3 years I managed to get into ERA Millionaire, and that's a very big motivation for me.
Yeah, that's very interesting because it's also very important because some people who want to achieve or chase their dreams, right, they will be so invested in their work that they forget about the world outside of their work, and then they start to lose their identity. So were there any of your downlines who ever came up to you and then are seeking for advice that they are overwhelmed with their work, and then they say that they cannot find balance or whatever? So how do you usually advise them?
I'll ask them to actually first I'll assure them that they are doing fine. Sales take time, and I think it takes time to be where, to achieve what you want to achieve. Even for myself, I think I took about, actually I'm 19 years. I started in 2005.
Oh, sorry.
So 17 years was Jasmine, I think.
Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, I started. So when they face that, I think it's very good. It's always have to assure them first that they're doing fine. Then I will look deeper into, so where did it go wrong? Why are they feeling stressed? A lot of times in our industry, stress comes when you don't close. No one will say today I close 20 units, I'm very stressed. I don't want to close 20 units. No matter, even for the person who closed 20 units and have like maybe rose diamond, pink diamond, whatever, right? He will say stress, but you will see that he's smiling when he says stress. It's a happy stress, right? And then he's just trying to tell you that he works very hard. That's it. But the one who's really stressed is the one that's quiet, the one who has no closing for a few months and start to doubt whether this career is for him. Now that's the warning signs that I think we need to come in and then as a mentor character to really go through what is going wrong, what are the things that they have done. Because as a real estate mentor and their manager, a lot of times their personal lives we try not to touch. Although we have also go into life coaching, right? Sometimes. But most of the time, for myself, I'll look at what is really causing that stress, and if it's work related, then we will give our advice lah. But if we realize that is sometimes the cause of the problem is family or other relationship based issue, then I would really ask them to calm down, separate the work and the emotions portion, and go and handle the emotions first.
Understand. So how about yourself, for someone who's invested in your passion in cooking and then having family, having 3 children and your real estate, right? Throughout your 19 years in the industry, was there a moment where you felt that everything was overwhelming, and then what sort of triggered you to know what to do?
For me, I think I am a very self-motivated person. Yeah, and I generally, look at the positive sides of things. So even when I'm really down, I'm probably down for that moment in time.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't think you have interactions with me for very long, but generally, I don't like to stay in that negative state. And if I come across negative people, I generally will stay away. In fact, one very interesting incident was I have a friend, okay, and he tends to sometimes have emotional outbursts, right? So one day I met him, and it seems that he's a lot more happier. So the next day I text him and say, "Hey, good morning and have a great day today." Then he was like surprised, why out of the blue you greeted me this, and I said, "Oh, because yesterday when I met you, I thought that you are a lot more positive. You are not as down as before."
Oh.
And then he said, "You're very funny, because most people would, when you're down,
Then
come
you
and
approach.
I said, no, but my point is, number one, he's not my associate, so there's no, it is a friend, right? So, and the friend, I think we need no boundaries. I don't know what is depressing you. I come and say, life will be better, things will be better tomorrow. I empathize, I understand what you're going through. This is all bullshit, because I really don't
be
know.
worse also for them.
Correct. So my point is, if you are feeling sad and depressed, I let you handle that yourself, because I don't know what's going on. Unless you call for help, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
But if I observe that you're upset, I'll give you time and space to go and do your own thing. But when I notice that you are feeling better, that's when I come and affirm you that, hey, welcome back to the positive side, and that's where we can do more. And I think I've also used this in my mentorship as well. That when it comes to work, all the work stuff, if you do wrong, I will tell you. But when it comes to personal matters, I would give you room, because we are not that person. I think it's sometimes very ironic when we have friends that come, "Oh, I hear you, I understand what you're going through." You don't. You're not me. So don't, that in fact that becomes very patronizing. I'd rather you give me space, support me in the areas I ask help for, and I think that's what a true friend is.
Understand. So like you say, being a self-motivator, do you have any tips or habits that you do to yourself to make you be a self-motivator, or was it something that you just...
I think I didn't used to be like that.
Oh, okay.
It was a series of
Obstacles,
setbacks and
challenges,
obstacles, and there were 2 times in my life that I was so upset with what was happening that heart pain physically became a physical heart pain. The emotional
Too much.
until and
feel it physically.
and the ironic thing was, in both situations, the person that caused it or the reason why I had been was not a girl.
Oh.
It's a guy. So not that I am gay or whatever. It's just that somehow it was over, matters that were more on friends and interpersonal relationships. But those made me a lot stronger, and I come to realize that they say bad things happen 3 times, right? My 3rd time haven't happened. I hope it doesn't happen.
Bad things happen 3 times. What is that?
No, that's a general saying.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So already happened 2 times, so 3rd time probably not. So my point is, those 2 incidents taught me to really realize that the thing has happened. You may have done wrong, you may not have done wrong, but it has happened. So if you can choose to live life crying, or you can choose to live life happily after that, but the thing has happened. So rather than be upset about it and continue to let it affect you, why not let things happen, be happy about it, or not happy about it, but be neutral about it, and start to, live life and get other things done to negate that unhappy things that has happened.
Yeah. And sometimes for someone to actually think that they need to actually love themselves first. They need to love them enough for wanting to be back up. Because sometimes they will say, I also have encountered some friends who will come to me, I have this problem. Every time I try to give my advice, they still stay there. And to the point where I will tell them, bro, if you're not going to do this for yourself, no one will going to do it for you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So that's very interesting. So maybe you want to share a bit about, you said self-motivation again. Do you talk to yourself every day? Do you give morning ritual?
Yes, lately I've been doing a lot of self-motivation exercises. One of the more important ones is to train my other side of the brain. So if you're right-handed, right brain, the more creative portion. So I actually start writing positive messages using the left hand.
Oh.
Yeah, so including things like I am happy, wealthy, healthy.
Is this something you
attractive.
found online? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's taught to me by I would say a group of friends, and it really, I think I started it for about 3 months, and I think the energies, the whole perspective towards things, it's a little bit of a manifestation kind of an exercise. And I think I really invite most of you to go and try it, all of you to go and try it.
So you write something with your left hand. What's the concept? Yeah, what's that?
The words?
No, as in what's the concept behind writing?
The concept is that when you so of course when they introduced it was just do it as an exercise. But being me, I don't think things like that. I always need to go and understand why. So I went to Google, I went to research why are they telling me to do this. So of course, as per any this kind of thing, they will tell you, don't just trust the process.
Yeah.
It's like you go boot camp and then you do a lot of things, right? I trust the process, but I'm not the kind lah. So now that we have internet, it's easy to find out.
Yeah,
right? So I realized that there is also a more scientific approach to that, is when you actually use your left hand to write, right? While you concentrate, the first thing is that you start using the other side of the brain that has not been used. So when you're right-handed, you tend to be a left-brain person. So when you use your left hand, which is your non-master hand, to write that message, you're getting your brain to start working. And I realized that it unlocks a lot more creative methods. You don't see the things, you are not so stubborn at seeing. There's more solutions that come out.
It's like maybe you put yourself into another position of yourself. Correct. From a different...
Yeah, it's using another side of the brain. So
but then you have to write carefully. You have to write properly.
Yes, you have to write properly. It's not scribble. It's not doctor's handwriting. So you end up looking, and I've done this for about 45 days now.
Wow.
And I look back every day.
Every
morning. So I look back at the words that I wrote, right? From day 1 to today, there's a very significant improvement in the form of the words. And it looks a lot better. So basically I've improved. And I would say, it really has helped in the mindset portion, and I look forward to every day now.
So what do you write actually? Just any motivation?
Words of affirmation.
What you did today?
No. What are you? Literally, I write, I am happy, wealthy, healthy, and attractive.
So you just do it every day.
Yeah.
And then from
So it's to tell yourself that you are.
ah.
So it's not I want to, it's I am.
Mm.
Yeah, even I think a lot of manifestation videos that you see online is I earned 100,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I do write that as well.
Yeah, but some people is stuck in the I want to instead
Yeah,
of
so it's I want
manifesting.
versus I earn.
Yeah.
You see, it's whether you have done it. So the manifestation exercise talks about you already imagine yourself
There lah,
already
already
there.
there lah.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot also about understanding yourself to find balance in your life, right? Do you have any advice for people who are still struggling with finding their balance and identity with the busy lives of being a real estate?
Advice is don't be afraid to go and ask for help. Because if you don't ask for help, you can't expect help to come. And I think again, relating to my story just now, if you just wallow in your own unhappiness and negativity, even someone who really have, wants to be able to help you, they can't because you didn't ask for the help. And I think today's society, this very woke society thing whereby you don't kind of disturb me, there's no more. It's like I don't know. I think it has really changed to back then. If we as a leader, if I notice that my guys have an issue, I can straight away tell. Today is not. If you go and tell, why are you intruding into policy? Did I tell you I got this problem? Did I ask for help? There are actually some of this now, and I find this, with no disrespect, more from your generation, the younger, the T series especially. So there's this very, I
agree. I don't. Yeah.
So I think for them, for people who is lost, I think you need to ask, and you'll be quite surprised to see that there are people around you who care. It need not be just your parents, your friends. It can be even in our line, your mentors, your managers should be the first person you talk to, right? And I think leadership today has changed, whereby I think as a real estate mentor, we are no longer just doing real estate work. We are doing so many things, right? We are a life coach. We are a friend. We are event organizers.
Yeah.
So I think talk to your mentor, ask for help, and you'll be very surprised to know that they really can help. And sometimes it's as easy as having a third person or another person looking at that matter with no emotions, no predetermined lenses.
Yeah.
The answer becomes very clear. Yeah.
So how about for new people who's just stepping into the career, knowing what you know now, right? What advice would you give to your younger self that could also benefit people who are just starting their career?
I think I would tell my younger self that, look, great things are coming your way. So don't give up. Were there times that I wanted to give up? Yes, there was a time where I actually wanted to go back to a 9 to 5.
Oh, you were from 9 to 5?
I wasn't. So my career was quite interesting. I started real estate agency when I was a year 1 NUS real estate student.
Oh.
So I had 3 years of doing agency work, and I did relatively okay, such that I could have my own car as a 23 years old. And I was staying in hall. So imagine staying in hall, car,
I want a car. I will have a car.
Yes. Right? But when I graduated and I think my degree was quite okay, my mom said one thing. My mom was very supportive of agency work, but she said one thing that I think, and I thank her for that, because I wouldn't be where I am today if she didn't support me. But she did say one thing. Say, look, you can continue doing agency, I'll support, but will you have regret if you have never went into a 9 to 5 before? So now that you are still young, why don't you try 9 to 5? If you don't like it, you can always go back to being your agent. So, which is, I did lah. So I had 1 year in consultancy. I was with Cushman & Wakefield doing accounts management. Again, the work there was very different from my street broker days. I was doing commercial real estate, industrial leases. But interestingly, of course, after a year, I left lah.
Yeah.
Very practical reason. my pay not enough. My then girlfriend was earning more than me.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were so-called planning to get married, and then that was when that guys generally want to be the one the provider, right? So I thought, hey, my it's not enough, and at the back of your mind, you have the agency where I was doing about 10 to 15 at that time, which was quite okay. So okay lah, then I took the plunge and went back to agency, and I never stopped until now. But but along that way, maybe 3 or 4 years going back to agency, I did feel that suddenly lost. All the deals like don't come through.
Oh.
Then would it, and that time was like, okay, should I go back to 9 to 5? And then of course there's that big fear, right? Before 30, if I don't go back to corporate, right, and I continue agency, by the time I'm 30 something, like right now you ask me to go back corporate, nobody want me. How? Because I'm so long already. I'm good at what I'm doing now, but when I go back to a corporate or 9 to 5, I really it's gonna start from zero. And how am I gonna fight with young energies like yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this way. So how don't give up,
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yeah, and also try to because when you tried going back to 9 to 5, you also decrease the question of what ifs. You know, sometimes when you live your life, right, you will have, what if I have done this? What if I have done this? So if you actually be open and explore yourself out there, you will slowly don't need to ask what if really, because you already
so basically I don't need to ask that what if I have not worked 9 to 5 before. So if let's say I have not taken my mom's advice and I do night agency from day one, right, there will always be that question, why is it to take the MRT and go to work every morning, and then at 12 o'clock go and buy lunch, and then 5 o'clock look at the clock and then wait. But I've done that, and I think that's not what I want. I realized that actually I prefer having control of my time. I prefer talking to people. I like the whole helping my clients solve problems, and of course the excitement of knowing that you have 120,000, 200,000. Also, my biggest commission to date was about 376,000.
Wow.
One deal. So it's those kind of fun things that really gives that excitement, and I think this whole, sum it up in don't have any regrets. So if you have any thoughts about doing anything, if you want to go wakeboard, go and do it. If you want to go parachuting, don't let it be a regret, because there will come a time whereby your physical self doesn't, maybe your monetary, you have enough money, but physically you may not be able to do it. So for myself, my bucket list so far is to go to the Silk Road. I literally want to walk the Silk Road from China all the way to Europe. That has been a bucket list or item that I want to do it. And we are going to make it happen either end of this year or early next year.
Great. I think from what you shared, I think you will. You will make it happen. So Chris, it has been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining us. And you guys remember, balancing your passion and work is really just about understanding yourself, understanding what you want in life, and also love yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need help with, and try to enjoy life when you can. Don't like Christopher shared earlier, don't keep yourself in negativity, keep yourself stuck in your obstacles, your challenges. Just pick yourself up and you definitely go up and succeed in your career and personal life. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. If you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, please leave a comment on our YouTube, and also continue to follow us on Spotify, and stay tuned for more powerful episodes, and continue to stay empowered as we continue to rise by raising others. Remember, your Mondays does not have to be blue again. This is Taufik and Christopher. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is Chris signing off.
Power Monday, where your Mondays will never be blue again.